All right, we are in. We are live. We're back. Welcome to Beyond the Spread. We got a few things to talk about. Kind of a shorter episode this week because we have the bracket to talk about. We have a couple housekeeping things. I have a couple other things I want to mention. And we got some NFL just headlines. I mean, from last week. We're gonna do a quick recap when we get there. But first things first, we'll get into the college football. College football will be the last thing third thing I talk about. But let's just jump right into it. So I'm a golf fan. I don't know if you guys are golf fans or not. I mean, it is what it is. I love golf. I love playing golf. I like watching golf. I don't love it. I mean, a good Sunday afternoon golf tournament midsummer, perfect. Turn the air conditioning, lay on the couch, just kind of relax and watch some golf. Nap time. But they announced, or Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka announced that they're going to have a LIV versus PGA kind of Ryder Cup style match at some point in the future. Now, there was also a rumor that LIV was going to buy 6% of the PGA here in the next year or so. Those rumors have been swirling around for a while. Let's see if it actually happens. But this Ryder Cup thing would be really cool because I love Scottie Scheffler, okay? Again, if you skip past this if you don't want to talk golf, but I love Scottie Scheffler, right? I love talking sports. So Scottie Scheffler, number one player in the world, no doubt about it. I mean, a lot of good players in the PGA. A lot of the better guys, some of the better guys, or more competition are in LIV. So this is very interesting because if this does and if it ever happens, we'll kind of see is LIV. Did they take a step back because they got all the money up front, and did they lose the touch of their game? I mean, we've seen tournaments where PGA players and LIV players play together, but the LIV players play just as well, and they sometimes win the majors. So it is very fascinating to me. This will be a very interesting kind of thing. See if it actually happens. I don't know. It's a rumor. I forgot who said it. I think it was Bryson DeChambeau said it in an interview like today or yesterday. Could be totally wrong on that, but I saw that and I was like, that's very interesting to me because that would be really cool. That would be really, really cool. And we have the actual Ryder Cup, Europe versus America, here this next summer in New York. Bethpage, they're playing at Bethpage. Second thing, just a little housekeeping. NBA Cup is going on. I saw news today that Jimmy Butler is available to be traded. So, because it started out weird this morning, it was like, oh, Jimmy Butler or the Miami Heat are open to talks about trading Jimmy Butler. So it was like, okay, they're gonna listen to it or whatever. And then like a couple hours later, it was like Jimmy Butler the Miami Heat are very open to trading Jimmy Butler. It was like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, okay, I guess Jimmy's probably out of there from what it sounds like, unless they can get a nice haul for him. I think Jimmy's the Miami culture. I mean, you hear about Miami culture all the time. Like, they do amazing things down there. They have such a great work ethic, and they're fucking dogs down there. But it'd be weird. My prediction is that I follow NBA. I'm not really into it right now because college football is going on, NFL is going on, crazy stuff happening. But the NBA trade line is going to be, I think it's going to be electric this year. It's going to be absolutely electric. I think we're going to see players left and right get traded. I don't know any names, but Jimmy Butler is one of them. I mean, Giannis has always been floated out there that he's going to get traded or he's never going to sign it, or he's not going to sign another contract with the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame could be out of there in Milwaukee. I don't know who else. I mean, Oklahoma City still probably has 1,000 picks to trade, so they can probably get a nice haul in there, even though they made a nice trade this last summer. I mean, they got Caruso. They got that guy from the Knicks. I don't know. I think it's gonna be electric. I don't see anything floating around. But it'll be electric. I think it'll be absolutely electric. The NBA trade deadline. It always is electric, but like when you get the notifications or you get on Twitter and you're just scrolling, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. Here's another Shams tweet. Here's another, not R.I.P. Woj, but when Woj was doing Woj bombs, it was amazing. You just for like a couple days, you turn on notifications for those guys and then turn them off after a couple days because there was so much shit happening. But yeah, that's NBA Cup. I have zero basketball right now. I've watched an occasional game here and there, but nothing crazy. NBA Cup's going on. I mean, I'll dive into it when they get to Vegas or something like that, when they get down to the Final Four. All right. Third thing before we get into some games here, the college football bracket. I think they got majority of it right. I don't know how, if you're an Alabama fan, you can kind of say we deserve to be in. You lost to Vandy, which is not a good win. You almost lost to South Carolina, who is a good team. I think that South Carolina kind of had a better chance than Alabama, in my opinion, because South Carolina's losses aren't that bad as Alabama's. We knew when Miami lost, a couple weeks ago, we kind of all knew that, they're kind of done. They're out of there because they didn't beat anyone. An interesting one is Texas. Texas lost to Georgia twice, but they really haven't beaten anyone either. I know they're 10-2, but it's like, who have they beat? My buddy's a huge Texas fan. We talked on the phone after the Georgia game. Georgia won, FYI, if you haven't seen or heard anything. Georgia won. But we were talking. He's like, "Are we even a good football team?" I was like, "Yeah, you guys are a good football team, but you can only reach so far because Quinn Ewers has had a bumpy year. He's played good against shit teams, but when he was slinging that rock that first half, he was slinging the rock against Georgia that first half. I told my buddy, I was like, he's gonna throw for 400 yards. He was absolutely slinging that thing left and right. So I think the interesting ones are Ohio State and Texas. Now, if we go back to it and we look at it, it's very interesting because Texas only fell 2 or 3 spots, but it just doesn't make any sense. So you got Clemson versus Texas, which is on TNT/Max, which is crazy to me that they have that. Texas being at 5, I kind of get it. It's whatever. Kind of easy schedule. I think Texas is going to roll through Clemson, if I'm being honest. And then they're going to play Arizona State. Tennessee, Ohio State. This is where Oregon gets absolutely fucked, in my opinion. Which isn't, it's not a hot take, but I mean, they get screwed because, I mean, if they get the first round bye, but then they're going to have to play Tennessee or Ohio State, and then they're probably going to have to play Texas because Arizona State might keep it close with Texas, but probably not. But Tennessee, Ohio State is not an easy matchup. This is where I'm like, should Ohio State be somewhere else? Should they be in Penn State spot? Because who the fuck is Penn State beat? They beat US. They barely beat USC. They almost beat Ohio State, but they didn't. I don't understand how Penn State got ahead. Ohio State's glaring loss is Michigan. Michigan was a 6-5 football team, and they went into the shoe and they beat the shit out of Ohio State. They just ran it down their throat. But to fall all the way that far and put Penn State ahead of them, I don't like that. I don't like that. The big thing going around is the 4 best teams should be able to get the first round byes. Like, look, I love Boise. I think Ashton Gentry has had a great year. I just don't see them having a first round bye and then being and having the 3 seed. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They should be a 10 like Indiana or a 7 like Notre Dame. Hell, put them in with SMU. Put SMU at something else. I don't like that. I think that's a tweaking issue that's going to come in the future. I think the 4 true best teams should have. I mean, they're conference winners. I get it. You win your conference, you're in. All that kind of shit. But Boise being 3, look, I love them. I think they can maybe beat SMU. I don't think they're going to beat Penn State. I would love to know that line. I might hammer Boise State because they're going to cover late, but I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And then we got Indiana and Notre Dame. I think that's going to be a pretty close game, actually. I think Notre Dame's going to come ready to go. They're favored. Notre Dame's 7.5 point favorites. But yeah, and then the winner of that plays Georgia, which we're not getting Carson Beck back, so he's not supposed to play in the bowl game, the first bowl game, because he messed up his elbow. I thought it was his hand during the game, and then I saw the report came out after it was his elbow. It was his UCL. Is it UCL? ECL? Something like that. I don't know. It's his elbow, throwing arm, which kind of sucks. And I tweeted out during the game that he is the worst player. The last couple times I've seen him throw a Hail Mary or attempt to throw a Hail Mary, he doesn't even get the ball off. Like, what are we doing, Carson Beck? You take a 5 to 7 step drop back. You let the pass rush come after you. You step up, maybe slide to the right, slide to the left, whichever way the pressure is not coming from, and then you chuck the ball. He slid into pressure this last time. He literally slid into the DN. He looked behind him. No one was there, and he decided to run the other way. And that DN was coming around the back of him. It's like, what are we doing, Carson? Look, Stockton. Is it Stockton? I forgot his name. But he came in. He killed it. That first drive was amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think SMU maybe covers. Penn State's -9 right now. Just early lines right now. Ohio State's -7.5 over Tennessee. I don't know what Tennessee I'm going to get. Am I going to get early season Tennessee? Probably not. Hopefully I don't get late Tennessee who that'll be an interesting game because Tennessee going to Ohio State, it's going to be cold. It's going to be in the shoe. It's a 6 p.m. game, which is going to be cold as shit in Ohio. Yeah, Clemson going to Texas. Texas -11. I think Clemson covers too. I think Texas wins by 3-8, I think is a good number. Yeah, I'm just looking at these lines. I think all those dogs cover, if I'm being honest. The only one that makes me nervous is SMU just going to Penn State. 10 a.m. kickoff. Some Dallas boys going to Penn State in the middle of the winter, essentially, and Penn State is -9. Makes me a little nervous. But we'll get there when we get there. That's really my take on college football right now. I think they got majority of it right. Again, Boise's a little issue for me. Penn State being too high, I think, who have they beaten? Who the fuck have they beaten? Ohio State just losing one game to Michigan. Very ugly loss. Very ugly loss. But you beat Ohio State beat Penn State. That's where the head-to-heads come in. Like, what are we doing, committee? Like, it just I don't get it. But, I digress. I think they got majority of it right. I'm excited for these fucking bowl games. I mean, we're still 10 days out from the first round, but it is exciting. And then we got New Year's Day games, and then semifinals week after that, and then championship end of January. And then we got NFL playoffs going at the same time. So it's like I'm trying to peek my head into college basketball, and then peek my head into fucking NBA and kind of get things going again. But I just can't. So my plan is do the pod every week for bowl games. I only got 3 bowl games written down right here. The reason being, I do this every week, once a week. So I got these games, and then I'll roll into the Wednesday games, just week by week. So it's tomorrow, Wednesday. Next week there will be some games that I'll talk about, and I'll probably bet. Or I know I will bet, but it's depending on when you listen to this is what I'm talking about, because 3:30 the first game in 2 weeks is at 3:30. So turn a game on at work, do what you got to do. First game again. These aren't exciting games, but they're fucking college football games. They're bowl games. It's always tough picking games during bowl seasons because who's playing these games are like these guys. They're probably playing. Might get drafted, might not. Look, they might or might not, but. Jackson State versus South Carolina State. Jackson State -1. I'm just going to – it'll be a rare day when I don't take the home dog in a bowl game, just because, look, I've seen a clip of Jackson State this year. But give me Jackson State -1. That's my analysis on it. I'm probably going with a lot of the favorites here. South Alabama versus Western Michigan. South Alabama -7. I do know a little bit something about Western Michigan. I don't know who to take here because it's like I watch games. I don't watch every team like this. Like the next game is Memphis versus West Virginia. I'm taking Memphis -3. I can just tell you that much because I know West Virginia's kind of been in some turmoil lately. I saw some news about was it their players or their coach? Something happened to him. He got fired. I think it was the head coach got fired. Something like that. But back to the South Alabama versus Western Michigan. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'll take Western Michigan +7. I'll take them +7. So, yeah. NFL. Again, probably a quick week this week on the pod, but, we'll get through it. Things are starting to not slow down, but then we got playoffs and again bowl games, and we're going to get some NBA, then we're going to get some college basketball. Just left and right, and that doesn't stop. Just quick headlines. my headlines, not anyone else's headlines. Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit escapes. It was a push. Oh, FYI, let me hang on. Pause. Let's go back to that. My records last week for bets: 4-1 in college, and then went 5-5-2. A push, 2 pushes in the NFL. 500 essentially in the NFL, but 4-1 in college was really good. Loved every second of it. Green Bay is good. I think Green Bay is good. I think they're going to be a deep playoff push. I think Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur are a great combo. I think that Josh Jacobs is an absolute dog. He's been crushing it this year. I wanted to pick him up in fantasy when we were drafting. I ended up not getting him. I got DeAndre Swift instead, I think, depending how far he fell, but I wanted him real bad. What else can I say? Their defense is looking pretty good. I mean, it's rare that in my lifetime, it's rare that you see a good Green Bay defense and a good Green Bay offense. And when they're usually clicking, they're usually really good. So yeah, and then we got Jacksonville at Tennessee. Didn't watch look at this game. I saw Mac Jones won 10-6. Tennessee, Will Levis is Brett Favre 2.0. I've been saying that the last couple weeks. I might have jumped the gun on that one. He has a rocket arm. He has an absolute rocket arm. That's where I get the Brett Favre analogy from. Everything else, I don't know. I like Will Levis. I think he's a good – I don't know him personally, but I like the way he plays the game. Let's just say that. I like the way he plays the game, and I want to continue to see Will Levis play the game, and hopefully he gets to continue to play the game. Jacksonville, I mean, Trevor Lawrence isn't coming back anytime soon. I mean, congrats, you won the game. I truly don't know. I didn't watch a second of this game. Jets at Dolphins. Jets came out quick again, and then Miami just continued throughout the entire game, where the Jets kind of just, first quarter bump, and then second quarter bump, and then just dead the rest of the game. So that was exciting. Good thing I took. I mean, it pushed regardless. If I would look, I'm staying away from the Jets. I've been staying away from the Jets. Well, actually, last week was my first week, but it worked out. We're good. It doesn't break my heart anyway. So there was a push there. Atlanta at Minnesota. Minnesota dominated. Atlanta is basically dead. That's the best way I can put it. Minnesota. How do we want to classify Minnesota? I mean, their record is, I don't even know. What are they? Are they 10? Do they have 10 wins? Do they have 10 wins? I'm looking right now. Minnesota. You're not going to show me your schedule. That's awesome. That's awesome. Minnesota 11-2. 11-2. That's crazy. I mean, Detroit's leading the division with 12-1. Green Bay is a couple games back, which is interesting. They're 9-4, and Chicago is just dead. Their losses are the Lions and the Rams. Those aren't bad losses. I mean, they're not good ones either, but Minnesota's second in the division. They're going to probably make the playoffs. I just don't trust Sam Darnold. I think that's really what it boils down to, because Justin Jefferson went off. Jordan Addison went off. I mean, what else can you want from them? I don't get it. I don't get it. Hand up. I'm one of the people. I don't trust Sam Darnold. When it comes to a playoff game, I don't trust Sam Darnold. When it comes late into a game, I don't trust Sam Darnold. I think that's what's holding me back. I think I need to see it and believe it, that Sam Darnold might be, have a rebirth in the NFL. Is that possible? I think so. I'm still holding on to my Bryce Young stock. I mean, that's turning around pretty well. But Minnesota's a weird one to me. I just don't know what to do. And then Atlanta on the other side, it's like, what are we doing? Is Kirk going to be there for another, year? Or do you start throwing Penix in there? Just be like, Kirk, let's shut you down for the year. Just coach the kid up, because we all know you're not going to be here for another 10 years. Penix might be here for another 10 years. Coach him up. Help us be a good guy like he is. It'd be interesting if that happens, but, what are you going to do? Saints Giants, didn't watch a second of it. I did see Derek Carr is out for multiple weeks. That kind of sucks for Saints fans and the Saints in general. Panthers at Eagles. Eagles ended up winning. Jalen Hurts, I think, had like 92 yards passing. There's some beef in Philly right now, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Brandon Graham was out on a podcast talking about how there's beef between them right now. I don't know. And this is typical diva wide receiver stuff. I think A.J. Brown's phenomenal. I don't know if it's all his fault. I mean, Saquon had 100+ yards rushing. I don't think they threw the ball a shit ton. I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but nevertheless, Panthers covered. Shocker. I thought the Eagles were going to steamroll them, if I'm being completely honest. Bryce Young is looking good. Do the Panthers... yeah, we're done with bye weeks this week. Where are the Panthers at? Are they? There's no bye. I thought there was no bye this week. Schedule. I just wrote these down. What are we doing? 4th to December 10th. Oh, I'm an idiot. Did I do this again? No, I did this. Week 15. Yeah, where are the Panthers at? Oh, Dallas at Carolina. Did I skip that one? Son of a gun, I really did. Dallas at Carolina. I really did. Because it's supposed to be after Baltimore. I did. Jaguars, Jets. Damn. I totally forgot about that one. Dallas is at Carolina this week. And Carolina is... Sorry for the programming, folks. But Carolina is -2.5 at home. I think I have to take them at a pure principle that they haven't had a home. They haven't been favored at home at all in the last 2 years. So that's huge. I think Dallas is going to roll them. Yeah, I don't know. That's Panthers-Eagles right there. Browns went into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh absolutely rolled them. I was actually kind of a little shocked like that because the Browns have been playing good football. So have the Steelers. We'll get to that game. That's a big matchup this week. Raiders at Bucks. Bucks covered. Raiders are toilet bowl. Bucks leading the division now. Who would have thought? Seattle at Arizona. Arizona is probably dead to me. Kind of the same line as the Jets because they were rolling so well. The Arizona Cardinals were rolling so well. Kyler was playing out of his mind. Trey McBride was playing out of his mind. I don't know what happened. I really, really don't know what happened. Seattle's on a little bit of a heater right now. Buffalo at Rams, the most exciting game of the day. Like 70, 80 points were scored, something like that. Josh Allen had 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. First player to ever do that. He's a freak of nature. I will never forgive the Broncos for not drafting him. Just depressing. Because we wouldn't. I mean, I'm happy where we're at now, or I'm content where we're at now. But could you imagine if we had Josh Allen? Perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit. My God, that'd be amazing. Rams look really good. I mean, they're scary. When they're healthy, they're scary. Puka Nacua is, he is a dog. Puka Nacua is an absolute dog. So is Cooper Kupp. I mean, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Pick your poison. And you got a good running back right there. And I forgot his name. Their defense, suspect, though. Defense, suspect. The Buffalo Bills defense is getting healthier by the day. So that's one thing they can kind of hang their hat on. Getting healthier. Bears at 49ers. Didn't watch a single second of this game, if I'm being completely honest with you. Bears got rolled from according to the stat box I was watching. I didn't look or didn't watch this game. I saw they had 2 yards of offense at one point to like 160 for the 49ers. So that was cool. I saw that on Twitter. Sunday night game, Chiefs-Chargers. Chiefs get away with it again. It's just I've had this theory for a long time. The tinfoil hat is on. Something had happened. Something happened with the Chiefs. The Chiefs owner, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, something happened. Something absolutely happened where it is so beyond our head that my tinfoil cap has been on for the last, 10 weeks. There's a thread out there. I retweeted it on my I retweeted it. It's a thread of all the games that they potentially should have lost or could have lost. Look, I completely agree that sometimes you have to be lucky rather than good. But they have been lucky so many times that you're just like, is the NFL in on this? Like, how does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? So put your tinfoil caps on and start thinking about it, because they just keep getting away with it. They keep getting away with it. They had their backup kicker in, and he doinked it, and it bounced in. Doinked it, and then bounced in. I don't know how else to explain it. I really don't know how else to explain it. They keep getting away with it. I'm done. But here's the thing: the Chiefs aren't covering him. So take the opposing team. Take the opposing team, because the Chiefs will not cover a game. They won't cover a game. So there's some deal there where like the NFL would be like, the deal is you're gonna win all these games, maybe lose a couple, literally maybe one or two, but you're not gonna cover a single game. You're not gonna. Are you taking that? If I knew, I've been betting against the Chiefs for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I saw this before. So it's been nice, but it's like, come on. They keep getting. I'd rather see them lose than them not cover. I'd rather lose my money and have them lose instead of the other way around. I'd rather, you know what I mean? Whatever. Bengals, Dallas, that was an intense game on Monday night. Bengals won. Dallas is mid. They're mid. They're frisky. They're fun. I enjoyed. You know what? I didn't enjoy it. I actually didn't enjoy what. I can't get these words out. I enjoyed watching that game last night from both sides of the ball. Is Cooper Rush the most exciting? No, but that running back is. CeeDee Lamb getting the ball is exciting. Ferguson getting the ball is exciting. Jamar Chase is on Triple Crown watch. He's first in yards, first in touchdowns, and first in something else. Receiving yards. I don't fucking know. But it is exciting. I mean, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are the two best wide receivers in the NFL right now, and I don't think it's close. I really don't think it's close. So yeah, that was my quick breakdown of last week, week 14 in the NFL. We got week 15 games. It is a hell of a slate. We got games back and forth. Bye week is over. Everyone has their byes. It's nitty-gritty football right now. Great setup. I mean, we got some good afternoon games, or morning games. We got some good afternoon games, an interesting Sunday night game, and then a snoozer on Monday night. It's a doubleheader on Monday night, so it's really kind of like a background noise, or maybe throw a big old parlay in and just see if it hits. Do all the unders. Thursday night game, exciting game. Rams at 49ers. 49ers are minus 2.5. If you were to ask yourself that the Rams or the 49ers would be what, 6-7? 7-6? One of the two. I would not believe you going into the season, because I'm like, what happened? Injury bug. The Rams, I like the Rams. It's the head coach matchup that really intrigues me. This one, we got Sean something. I can see his face. And Shanahan. Oh my gosh. I'm going to lose my mind. Rams head coach. Why am I drawing a blank on this? Sean McVay. Thank you. Gosh, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot sometimes. Sean McVay versus Shanahan. It's one of these ones because they come through this tree of either Shanahan or McVay. I think it all started with Shanahan in Washington. I don't know the record off the top of my head. I know it's probably back and forth because it's LaFleur, Shanahan, McVay, and I'm missing one. McDaniel's one of them too. I like the Rams in this spot. I think the Rams are hot right now. This may be recency bias because they won against the Bills in an absolute shootout. I think the 49ers are just banged up. I think they should kind of just hang them up this year. Not literally, but they should definitely consider being like, hey, maybe we all just kind of take a couple weeks off, get the backups in, hit Cancun early this year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think the Rams are actually fighting for something. I think Sean McVay is a really good coach. Now that I remember his last name, give me the Rams plus 2.5. That's Thursday night. Sunday morning games, we got Kansas City at Cleveland. This is where the Chiefs might cover, because Cleveland got their shit pushed in last week by the Steelers. I think the Steelers are. Do I think the Steelers are better than Chiefs? I that's a tough one for me because I don't think the Chiefs are that good, but I don't trust Russell Wilson. But I think right now the Steelers are better than the Chiefs. So, yeah, I think give me Cleveland plus 4.5. That's my analysis is how that's recency bias. It's just pure recency bias. I think Cleveland is good and actually not good. The Cleveland is not good. They're 2 and what? 2-13, 2-12. They're gonna muck this game up. I think Jameis is gonna throw at least one pick six, but he's gonna throw at least 3 touchdowns. It's gonna be a 24-27 kind of game, or even like a 21-25 kind of game. I don't know. Something weird is gonna happen. I have a very weird feeling about this game. So Cleveland Browns plus 4.5. Bengals at Tennessee. I have to keep riding Cincinnati. I really do. I have a sick feeling about this game just because they're going to Tennessee. They just came off this not big win against Dallas, but it's a good win against Dallas. Not the best, but it's a good win. Maybe they make some noise enough to like squeeze in. Some crazy shit could happen, and they could just squeeze in at the end. Their defense isn't good, but yeah. Tennessee got embarrassed last week, but 10-6 by Jacksonville. Yuck. Give me the Bengals minus 5.5. Commanders at New Orleans. Give me the Commanders minus 7. Just a quick pick right there because New Orleans is poop. New Orleans is poop. Commanders are actually fighting for something. They're trying to make the playoffs again. Let's see how Jaden Daniels does down in New Orleans. Homecoming. So how did the Saints kind of feel with that? That'll be interesting to watch. They got to cheer for him. They're not going to boo him. There's no way they're going to boo him. New Orleans, who knows who's playing quarterback? I can see number 3's face. That was the third string. Is he playing or is Spencer Rattler playing? Because you don't have Taysom Hill either. I think Washington covers easily. Ravens at Giants. Ravens minus 14.5. It'd be dumb not to take this. It'd be really dumb not to take this because Giants are not good. Drew Lock won the game last week. Shout out Drew Lock. That motherfucker real. I like the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens because they're coming off a bye week. Derrick Henry cut his hair, so that might help improve aerodynamics. So let's take the Ravens minus 14.5. I said this earlier. Dallas is at Carolina. Carolina is minus 2.5 against Dallas. I don't know how I feel about this, but Carolina's been playing really good lately. I'm going to regret this one later. Hopefully not, but give me Carolina minus 2.5. Just out of pure principle that they haven't been favored at home, on the road, anywhere in 2 years. And Dallas really isn't fighting. They're not fighting. They're kind of just rolling over. They're going to have a couple big plays against them. Michael Parsons is going to have I think, 2-3 sack kind of game. But Bryce Young's been playing good. I'm holding on to that Bryce Young stock. This right here is why I hold on to the Bryce Young stock. Because they're finally favored at home. Vegas is seeing something. They're like, oh, they're actually not bad. They've been covering games left and right. Let's see if they can win one. That's where the tail comes in. It's like, can they win one? I don't think so, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Jets at Jaguars. Not going to watch this game because the Jaguars are no fun to watch. Give me the Jets minus 3.5. I know I've been staying away from them. I can't in this spot because I think the Jaguars are terrible. It's going to be funny. It'll be hilarious. An absolute hilarious if Jacksonville wins this game. Not even, they might cover. I will say they might cover just because that half is what's throwing me off. Again, it's Tuesday night. That line might change, but the 3.5 is throwing me off. They're going to win by 3. They might not even win. I have no idea. You have no idea what you're going to have this Jets team week to week. You have no idea. Dolphins at Houston, the last morning game. Dolphins at Houston. Houston minus 3. I don't know. I really don't know because Houston is getting healthier. They're going to make the playoffs. They kind of need a good win to kind of get things rolling. this Dolphins team might be that team that they can kind of get their foot on the gas. Let's make a run here. Nico Collins is finally back, getting healthy again. I mean, he's been back for a couple weeks now, but I like Houston in this spot. I think the Dolphins could easily play spoiler the rest of the year. They could play some upset games and ruin some people's seasons, but I like Houston in this spot. I think they just came off the bye week. Let's take a quick peek. I think they just came off the bye week. And if they did, that makes me like them even more. They did just come off the bye week. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm on my P's and Q's right now. Sunday afternoon, Colts at Broncos. Broncos -4. Here, I was thinking about this game earlier today. Both teams coming off byes, both getting healthy. Obviously, I think the Broncos are going to win. It's really just a matter of, are they going to cover? Because if you've watched any Colts games, if you've watched highlights of Colts games, you always see the Colts win at the last second. The Broncos need to win this game to solidify their playoff berth for the first time in years. The 4 scares me, but I'm not going to run away from it. I'm going to face it fucking head on like a man, and we're going to ride with the Broncos. I think the Colts are going to keep this close somehow, some way. Anthony Richardson is going to do some fuck shit. He's going to do some electric stuff, but I think the Broncos are going to win, but it's a late push. Maybe I'm way off on this. But I think it's a late push by the Broncos to win by like 10. I think they're going to get like a pick. Third quarter, go get a field goal, get another stop. It's just going to be back and forth for a patty cake for a little bit, and then Denver's going to go score a touchdown, and they're going to win by like 10. Maybe even win by 7. I'm kind of just making that up as I go, but I'm nervous about the covering. I think the Broncos do win, but its covering is making me nervous. Bills at Detroit. I am so pumped for this game. So excited for this game. I think the Bills are getting better. It was a tough loss last week because if you win that, you're kind of like, okay, obviously they're going to win their division. That's never in question. But you needed that. This is where the fucking dark magic comes in for the Chiefs because they shouldn't be first in the AFC. They're easily going to win the AFC West. That's fine. That's been known since the season started. It's the matter of fact that the Bills could easily be hunting down the Chiefs right now if the Chiefs didn't have dark magic. But they do have dark magic, so it is what it is. I like the Bills. I think they're going to be good. I think they have a good chance of making the Super Bowl this year. I really do. I think they have the weapons. They're all young. They all kind of don't know what the fuck's going on, but they have Josh Allen back there, so they believe in him. They believe in the team. The offensive line is pretty good. Josh has been running a shit ton. It's defense that's getting healthier day by day. Again, by the playoffs, I think they'll be good. If they get a home game, they'll be great. It's once you go on the road, that's when the defense needs to show up, and I think that's when they'll be the healthiest. I really do. Knock on wood. But you're going to Detroit. Detroit's been kind of teetering around, Are we gonna only lose one game? The last couple of weeks have been like, oh, we're keeping this close, but we're gonna turn it on at the end, and then we're gonna go kick the game-winning field goal, or we're going to throw the game-winning touchdown pass, and our defense is gonna stand up. That's why I'm going with the Bills. I'm going with the Bills because I think Detroit is due for a loss. They're what? What's their record? What's their fucking record right now? What is their record right now? I think Detroit is so good it's not even funny. I think they are so good it's not even funny. They're 12-1. They're 12-1. I just think that you need a good loss. It's going to be a good loss for Detroit. They might not. I could be eating my words, okay? I could be totally eating my words. I think it's going to be a good loss for Detroit. Because you kind of need one towards the end here where it's like, okay, we know we're good, but like you're riding so high on all this shit. And maybe I'm way off on this. But you need a good loss towards the end of the year, especially if you're planning on making a deep, deep run, like to the Super fucking Bowl. I think this is where it starts right here. I think this is where the deep run comes into play. Steelers at Eagles. Also pumped for this fucking game because the Steelers are going on the road to Philly. I wish this was the fucking night game, if I'm being honest. They should have flexed this out 2 weeks ago. Steelers been balling the fuck out. I still don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. That take is coming down slowly. I think they have a really good defense. I think Russell Wilson knows how to make deep throws. I know Russell Wilson takes some dumb sacks every once in a while. But the Steelers are a good football team. I love Mike Tomlin. I've never not liked Mike Tomlin. It's just Russell Wilson and a former being the Bronco QB and eating all our fucking cap space pisses me off. Eagles have a little turmoil here. You know, the A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts thing. Like, what's going on with that? But the answer is Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. That's the answer right there. I think the Eagles win, but Steelers cover. Mike Tomlin just knows how to cover a fucking football game. I don't know what it is. It's fucking voodoo magic. Give me the Steelers +5. I'm excited for this game. Those are two great games right there. Maybe the Steelers win outright, but I think Philly gets it done late. Jalen Hurts is gonna be running around for his life. Saquon's gonna have a couple at least. Is he going to have a TD? I think he's going to have one TD, but it's going to be like on a screenplay or something like that. Calling my shot now. Pats at Cardinals. Don't care about this game whatsoever. Both these teams are irrelevant to me. I'll take the Cardinals -6. Cardinals, I mean, I guess they could win a few games, and hopefully the Seahawks lose a couple games or the Rams, and they sneak in. That's really what they hope for. Pats, whatever. I like watching Drake May. Drake May is exciting. I watched Dan Orlovsky talk about Drake May. It makes me excited because, you know, having the Patriots be bad at football for the last couple of years has been like, if it makes me feel good because it's like, fuck you, finally come back down to earth. But at the same time, it's like I like when foundational teams, especially in my life, are good. Like the fucking, I don't know. Let's point to a good one. Like the Steelers. The Steelers were always good throughout my childhood. I mean, they won a Super Bowl. They won 2 Super Bowls, I think. I don't know how many they won, but that toe tap they won 2. Jerome Bettis and fucking Antonio. Oh my gosh, I'm toe tap, whatever that catch was. But yeah, it's just nice to see that. But, you know, let's get the Patriots back up. Maybe I'm way off on that. But I like seeing foundational teams that have always won, like the Broncos. They're usually a historically winning franchise. We've had a shitty decade. It's been a fucking decade. It's fucking crazy. It's so sad. It took a decade to rebuild. And some teams still haven't rebuilt. Okay. Bucks at Chargers. I love Baker. I just think the Bucks need to get at least, I don't know, 4 there's 4 games left. They need to win at least 3. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but let's take a quick peek. Let's see, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's look at their schedule the rest of the way. Couple bad losses. You're going to look back at that Falcons loss and fucking bite your tongue, huh? Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. Not terrible, but I wouldn't say easy. I mean, this Chargers game's pretty big. You should win against Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Should beat the Panthers, and you should beat the Saints, especially if Derek Carr is probably not going to play the rest of the year. So this is kind of one of those ones where it's like, if you win it, it's amazing. It's amazing if you win it. But if you lose it, you're like, okay, we can go 3-1, maybe sneak in. I mean, they're leading the division right now. They're 7-6. I mean, it'd be nice if you got this one, but I don't think you will. I think the Chargers bounce back off the Chiefs. Give me the Chargers -3, especially at home too. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Seahawks. I'm not even going to blink twice about this one because I think the Seahawks have been flying too close to the sun. Packers -3. They're going into Seattle. I know, 12th man. Blah, blah, blah. Geno Smith. He's been amazing. He signed a big old contract. It's awesome. Sick, dude. I just think the Packers are due for a run here. Let's look at the Packers' schedule real quick because I'm curious to see if this is like kind of like a win and kind of keep going game, or if it's like, do they have room to lose? They're 9-4. They really are trying to catch Minnesota. They play Minnesota at least one more time. They got Seahawks this week, Saints next week, Vikings in 3 weeks, but it's at the Vikings. They're home against the Bears. You like to go 3-1 here, and especially since the Vikings are, trailing Detroit. You're like, okay, can we get this game? Let's look at the Vikings schedule real quick just to finish it off. So they got the Bears they got the Bears this week. Yeah, that's Monday Night Football. Then they got Seahawks, and then Packers, and then Lions. Oof. They might go 2-2. I mean, they could lose the Seahawks. Since they're going to Seattle. I don't know. That division, especially the Vikings and Detroit. I didn't look at the Detroit schedule. I'm not worried about Detroit. But it'll be interesting to see how far Green Bay makes a push. If they go 4-0, I think they jump the Vikings. If they lose 2, I think they stay where they're at, and they're shooting for a wild card spot. It'd be nice, like a decent one. Like, not even, let me rephrase that. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Lions win the division. Vikings get a wild card spot. And then maybe Green Bay. Maybe Green Bay. There it is. There's what I'm trying to say. Whatever. Bears at Vikings. Give me the Vikings at home. -7. Caleb Williams might show out on primetime, but the Bears are just dead. The Bears are just dead. They've been dead. They're dead. You keep beating them. Dead horse. Beat them. Falcons at Raiders. You know what? Just for fun, give me the Raiders +5 because I don't think the Falcons are good. I think Kirk Cousins in primetime is also a mistake. And you're going to Vegas. It's a very black and red and silver game. Lot of black. But I think the Raiders cover. I really have no feel on this game because they're both poop in my mind. So yeah, but Monday night, let's just see what happens. I said it was going to be a quick episode. It is not a quick episode, but I'm done talking. Subscribe next week.